Okay, hello, hi. So my name's Wes White. I'm with the Salinas Monterey County Homeless Union, and today we asked for an audience to talk about the Know Your Rights seminar that we're doing for the Salinas Homeless Ordinance. That was passed on October 10th and goes into effect November 9th, which is tomorrow. So we have quite a few things. I wanted to introduce Rita real quick, and maybe she could talk for a little bit about whatever you want to talk about, and then we'll call Prince on the way as well. And we can also edit. That's the beauty of video. So we can take a little bit of breath.
I left it on top of the
I was thinking of actually going more last, but I just wanted to get this started because you folks are saying some great stuff. Honestly, so I video a lot of stuff and pass it out for the community as a gift to the community. And your stories are important too. And the conversation you were having was like, whoa, I got to capture this kind of stuff. So I think we are going to end up, if it's okay and all right, I'd like to be able to do introductions and just say like who you are and whatever your passion is in life.
Because he also records everything and he puts it all on YouTube. So people know, so it goes out in the different areas.
Right. Oh, and if you're going to talk, please almost kiss the mic. You're just like 1 or 2 inches maybe. And basically at this point, we're just going to introduce ourselves. Just say, hi, I'm me. And, I don't know, whatever your favorite color is or something. Or if you want to say something passionate, go ahead.
My name is Rita Acosta, and we actually came here to the park because we try to get the residents here from the park to know what's going to happen tomorrow with the ordinance. We wanted to inform them with the rules, what they can and cannot do. Once again, the city is going to allow people to camp from 7 to 7, so people are really happy about that. But the only thing is they didn't tell them that they can't camp at the city parks, city streets, city property. So again, we come to where we're asking, where do they want the people to go? When we ask them, they're like, it's not our problem. Just, you can't be here. Or you could camp, but not here. We say, we're residents of Salinas, and we are still part of this community. It's not our fault that they choose to spend the means on other things. Their jobs as city council people, that they're supposed to make decisions for the community, for the whole community, not just for the communities that have money. So that includes the homeless community, and we saw, they act like if we wanted this. Like, when we're little, we're like, when I grow up, I think I'm going to be homeless. Or tomorrow I think I'm going to be homeless. Nobody wanted this. Nobody wants to be homeless. Nobody has, oh my God, I'm homeless. And, yeah, it's great. It's not. It's really hard. The city seems to think it's easy for people to be homeless out here, sleeping outside. They say we like it, and it costs nothing. That is such a lie. It costs us a lot. It's not just by money, but our pride, our dignity, self-respect and everything. We go through a lot. I tell one of the ladies from City Council, I'm like, on that personal time of the month, I invite you to come and stand in a tent with me so you can see what we go through as women being out here. There's nothing nice about it. And I'm not proud to say at one time I had to use a 5-gallon bucket to go to the restroom, but that's what we had. If you all up and down the streets here, if you go at night, nobody lets you use the restroom. And even more so, if you look homeless, they're not going to let you use it in the daytime. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the plague. We just don't have homes. I'm a mother of 5. I have 14 grandkids. Yeah, I probably could go stay with my kids, but why am I going to interfere in their life? The city is supposed to provide for their people, for their community. The job of the city council says you're supposed to make decisions for the community as a whole community, and they're not supposed to profit off of it. They might not profit individually, but the city of Salinas does profit off their decisions that they're making, because everything is for people that have money. If you don't have money, let's just say you don't exist. So we're not just here trying to live, we're also fighting to exist. They can't they see us? Yeah, they do, but they choose not to. Everybody, cities, we're getting a warming shelter. Great, yay. But we need something permanent for the people so they know that this is what we have this. Not just at wintertime, bad enough as it is right now, they come to the park here every so many days. They take tents. They're not supposed to take people's property, and they still do. So they're leaving people out here in the open with nothing over them. I mean, it might just be a tent, but that provides, keeps you out of the sun. It keeps the rain from hitting you. So where's a safe community, healthy community? They're the ones who's not doing a safe community and keeping it healthy for us, because they're keeping us out here where people are dying, getting sick, and then they complain about us going to the hospital. The homeless just keep coming to the hospital. They come and go, keep coming and going. Well, I wonder why that is. We get sick, we have surgeries, we come back out here. So how are you able to heal? How are you supposed to rest? How are you supposed to get, it's just one thing after another. And if you say you're hurt, you're homeless, okay, I understand now. They think you're just trying to get pain pills, or you're trying to but that's not it. We're homeless and we hurt too. Live our life for one day, and I'm more than sure it'd be pretty hard. And even more so, it's just like how people in our community, what happened to respect each other? What happened to have love for the neighbor and stuff like that? I would say that, the Black Eyed Peas is that song, Where's the Love? I so much want to do a video from that, for those words, because we have that all here. We have that all here. There's discriminating against the poor. I would say it's a war against the poor. Because what are they trying to do? They say we don't want to help ourselves. We are helping ourselves. We're providing homes for ourselves with a tent, with a makeshift tent or whatever. We're providing that for ourselves. The city isn't trying to work with us. I mean, I've drawn a tent community for them so they could see what we could do. You could do a transitional program from a campsite. Just have to have rules. In every place you have rules, things work. But they don't want to do it because it's not their idea. Like I said, we've had tents by the garden. The Flush program, we were co-chair with CSUMB. All of our dreams to make things keep on going and say, this is what the homeless did. We did this working together. We didn't get no credit for anything. It became the college students did it. That's great. I always say it doesn't matter who does it, long as it gets done. But after a while, after they keep on stealing our ideas and change the name, it's like, hey, all those things that you're getting belongs to the community. We did the work for it. We made the block shine at that time, We say, this is us, how we did it. It looks really nice. And after when you ran us out, this is how you did it. Total mess. But then again, hey, always blame the homeless. When it's that time of the year for voting, it's all that. We're going to blame the homeless for everything. Hi, Van. All the furniture you see everywhere, it's the homeless. They're the ones who bring it. They don't have homes. How are they bringing the furniture? People bring it in to Chinatown, so they don't have to pay that dump fee. And they're like, well, we just want to give them a soft bed and everything. Really? So what about the rest of the trash? It gets pretty hard to keep going and doing what we do. It's not even say. I lived here all my life, and it's hurt so much to know that it doesn't matter how long I've been here, that I raised my family here, that I worked here. I don't have money right now. I don't have a home, so and it means I'm not really worthy of being here in Salinas. And it hurts. I used to always say, yes, I live in Salinas. I'm proud to live in Salinas. Like, isn't it scary? No, there's crime everywhere. Now it's not the crime thing that bothers me. It's the way the city treats people. The way they treat people. I mean, 2015, my son was beat by the Salinas Police Department out here. We were at bingo. I called for help. I need help for my son. Help isn't what came. I watched the Salinas Police beat my son nearly, we could say to death. He just recently got out of jail. He was incarcerated from the day that they beat him up until just recently. All this time every time he pleaded not guilty, they changed his attorney and started all over again. So I was like, my son's all, I'm so tired, I want to come home. I'm just like, I sort of felt, I didn't feel good that he was there, but I was just thinking, people have to notice. Nobody noticed. Nobody cared. Nobody, the police were saying that he was under the influence of drugs. We just came out of bingo. They didn't say he was working. They didn't say that day he got his check. We went to bingo as a family. Nothing. They just, everything was negative. And again, I have to say, Salinas just wants things to be their way. I mean, if we were really hurt in front of them, I don't think they'd stop to pick us up. They wouldn't want us to bleed on there. They're like, can you wash that off when you're done? I know, Wes, Dreads, all of us, Van, we've been out here, homeless, but not help us. We're still trying to help ourselves. We're not trying to take from anybody. We're not stealing or anything. I just say, what is it going to take for City of Salinas to really do their job? We went to a group yesterday. Mothers their kids have been murdered. I mean, you can't put a price on a child's life. You can't put a price on a human being's life. But it doesn't seem to matter because we're poor. I can't say it's a racial. It's just you're poor. Right. You don't matter. If you don't got money to fit in with the Joneses, then pass the mic and give it to somebody else because your story's not really important because there's no way for the City of Salinas to benefit from it. So I always say, the ladies, you have a good idea. Do you want justice? You got to do it yourself. A woman's job is never done. We're the backbone in the family, and if we want things to get done, we have to do it. Our husbands might work and do this and that, but we're the ones that hold everything together. When we speak, they hear us. So we just, as women, we just got to keep working together, and hopefully Salinas will see that, we have a lot of good, strong people here. They might not have money, but they're smart, They could do something if they wanted to work with us, but they're not trying to, It's be gone, don't exist, They always say, our first priority is to get rid of the homeless. You can't sweep us away, you can't make us disappear, because we're going to be here, no matter what. Irene, you want to say something?
Hi, my name's Irene Chavez. Well, I've been homeless for years out here. I'm so tired of being out here. Year after year, don't get me wrong, I try to look for resources here in Monterey County. And they don't have any resources here that help or that I can stay consistent on talking to anybody about anything that I'm going through, because I don't matter, because I'm homeless. But today I live in Sherwood Park, and about the sweeps coming every 3 days, it takes really a toll on me, on my health, and frustrating, and not knowing if you're going to come back to your stuff or not when you leave. How am I supposed to have a job, to make money, to get off the streets, if I got to worry about today and my stuff being taken for the next day? And 2011, my son was murdered. That itself was a tragedy. And living out here is a tragedy itself too. And I've lived in Chinatown. I got out of Chinatown because I didn't want to be there anymore when bullets were flying here and there and you didn't know where they were coming from, why they were coming. They were just coming. So I moved to Sherwood, and I've been here at Sherwood off and on. Friends and family let me go and stay at their house a day or two. But I don't like to be a burden to nobody, so that's the reason why I'm still out here. It's been a long time since I had a job, but recently I've been putting applications in to see where, somebody wants to hire me. Usually they don't want to hire nobody that's older, or, they're looking for young kids. So it's kind of hard for me right now, and, I just want to get back to having a stability housing so I can get my life started. Because without that, I ain't going to be able to do anything, worrying about my stuff, worrying if I'm going to have a shower, to be ready for work the next day. And it's not like I don't want to work. It's just hard to get started there. I have a lot to say. I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm frustrated because of situations of Dorothy's Place. They discourage you, they give you something, they take it away. it's just this community. How even the Salinas police department and sheriff's department, how they're supposed to be protect your community. Where is that at? There is not none of that. We know that. We have to protect ourselves. Why call them when they're not going to come till it's all done and over with?
Because we're not supposed to be here.
And that's why every time I encounter with them, I'm like, you shouldn't be harassing me. You should be going looking for the murderers that murder people's kids.
That's right.
You know, because you should be worried about the homeless and where they sleep, because you don't want them. You don't want us here. Well, where can we go? Can we go to your backyard? And no, we can't. Well, where do you want us to go? Actually, sometimes I feel like they just want to throw us away like trash. We're not trash. We are worth it, and we are someone. You know, and it just seems like I'm pretty sure in their family they have somebody just like us through their family line, and I don't know how they treat them, but the way they treat us is like not protect our community. You know, they're not for any of us. And like I said, there's a lot of people that look down like we're aliens or something. Homeless people, we're not aliens. We are human too. And they're probably just one step away from being homeless themselves if they lose that job. That's all I gotta say.
Happy birthday to your baby.
Oh yeah, and happy birthday to my son Miguel. He turns 26 today. And after this, I got to go celebrate with him.
This is the silver lining. So I have our attorney Anthony Prance on the phone. He's a civil rights attorney, and he wanted to talk more about the homeless ordinance itself. And so, Anthony, are you on the line?
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, well, I'll try to keep it short, but I wanted to say a couple things. First of all, it's so good to hear Rita and Irene once again play the leadership role. That is so important. I agree 100% with everything that they said about the situation, especially the emphasis on nobody's going to do anything for homeless people in Salinas. We're going to have to make a fight, and we have been making a fight for a long time. And the fruit of our labor is the fact that Salinas is at the head of the whole column now. The Salinas Homeless Union, people are looking to Salinas on how to organize, how to push back. That's the most important thing. And in Marysville, I want to report to you guys that in Marysville, Wes was contacted by a guy who was in a homeless camp that got broken up last year. We filed a lawsuit against the city of Marysville, and they formed a chapter of the homeless union up there. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys heard, but in Sacramento, they had a lawsuit that went on for 8 years with a very similar anti-camping ordinance that they passed in Salinas. And unfortunately, it went to the jury, and the jury, and this is after 8 years of litigation, 8 years this case went on, they deliberated less than 3 hours and came back and made a decision for the city of Sacramento. And they found that the homeless were not being persecuted, the homeless were not being singled out by the same kind of ordinance that we're fighting in Salinas. So what they're going to do now, they realize now, and I've been talking to them, that they can't expect to get justice just through the courts. They can't get justice just by begging and pleading and hoping the city will change its mind. The only way they're going to get a change is to organize, okay? And so they've been following what you guys are doing in Salinas. They've been following what's happening in Marysville. And it's time for us to come together. It's time for us to build, to expand this union all across California. And so I just want to point that out, that that's the most important thing. Now, I looked at this ordinance that they put on the table here. And this ordinance, once again, is unconstitutional on its face. They're trying to say that you have no right to your possessions unless they're just a small number of what they call personal items. They're saying, if you read this thing, and I don't have time to go into detail, but I'm going to prepare a detailed response to it. What they're essentially saying is that, okay, we're not going to criminalize the fact that you're putting your personal items on public property. We're not going to criminalize that, but what we will criminalize is if you fail to cooperate with a city employee who's going to tell you to get rid of that stuff. That's what they're saying. So that's just playing with words. They're just playing with words, okay? This ordinance is not only unconstitutional, but it means that they're going to confiscate property in a completely arbitrary way. You know what I'm saying? And it's also giving power to any city employee. If you read it, it says it's against the law, a misdemeanor, for you to interfere with any city employee. It doesn't say whether the city employee is authorized or not, who's taking down your tent or seizing your property. I mean, this is worse. I mean, I know that it's permitting camping, supposedly, between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m., and it's a little confusing because it also says in certain areas you can only camp, you have to break camp at 5 a.m. Okay? And I know that it says that, but if you read it carefully, you'll see that the restrictions are so intense that it's a complete illusion. All right? So I think that we're going to have to make a statement, and as the union, and I want to get input from you guys over the next few days on this ordinance, because this ordinance is a weapon that the city's going to use to once again try to run the homeless out of Salinas, reduce people to the point where, just like Irene says, they make you choose. You can't. How can you possibly be available to work at a regular job if you have no place to put your possessions? They're unattended. Therefore, the city can seize them and destroy them. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
You guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, it's my understanding. I'm gonna be blunt with it. I'm gonna put it right out there. It's my understanding that there were some lawyers who were going to challenge this ordinance, but that so far nothing's really happened. And I was contacted to ask what my opinion is about the ordinance, and I've had a chance to look at it. And as far as I'm concerned, they should be fighting this ordinance in court. They should not be making any deals with the city. This ordinance is unacceptable. This is just another step. I'm going to make that position a formal position. I'm going to go through this thing with a fine-tooth comb and write up all of my opposition, all the legal opposition to it. And I'll submit it for you guys to consider, because really, I'm your lawyer, and I represent you guys, and I want you guys to, I'll write something up, you guys look at it, and if you're in agreement, then that will be our official position, all right? And my gut feeling and my analysis so far on that ordinance is that ordinance is wrong. That ordinance is unconstitutional, and that ordinance is going to single out homeless people. For example, it says that no person can be. It doesn't say. It says marginally housed or unhoused cannot be in a parking lot. They can't be in a city parking structure. So they've singled out a class of people based on the fact that they don't have a home, and they're prohibiting them from even being upon city property. That is unconstitutional on its face. Okay, that is unconstitutional on its face. The other thing it does, for example, is it says they have this definition now of an acceptable number of personal items. They're saying, well, guess what? If you don't have a place to live, we get to limit the amount of personal property you own. If it doesn't fit in a 96-gallon garbage can, you can't have it. Well, that's a violation of the Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment says that they cannot take your property without due process of law. Okay? Life, liberty, and property. That's your property. And they have no right to make an arbitrary definition of saying, well, you can have your ID and your cards and your medication and a couple of blankets. That's it. If you can't fit it, if it doesn't fit in this garbage can, you can't have it. And if you read it carefully, there's no way for you to get your possessions around town. There's no way, because you can't have a cart. This ordinance prohibits you from having a cart or some other means of carrying your possessions around, if you read it. That's defined as a bulky item. We thought we got rid of this bulky item deal back when we fought the first ordinance, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Now they've come back to it. So this is a big step backwards. It's not a step forward, it's a step backwards. Okay? So I think what we need to do is carefully go through it. Now there are some parts in there that we can use. We can say, okay, we're going to take advantage of this one right here. For example, it says that you can apply to the city for an overnight camping permit. Okay, so we'll do that. It will be a special event. It's a special event. It's housing homeless people. Now the way they defined it, if you look at how they define the tent. They look at and the way they define other means of shelter. They're making it impossible by definition to have these small homes. You guys have been reading about these small homes that are constructed. I just read in St. Louis, Missouri, where a group of veterans actually created a whole village for homeless veterans, but they didn't restrict it just to veterans. They built it for others too. And there are these small homes. Well, under this ordinance, you could not have something like that in the city of Salinas. So what this ordinance is doing is slamming the door on some solutions, some temporary solutions that other cities are actually putting into place. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that you guys are on the right track. The fact that the union has continued to exist, and the fact that you guys can continue to be a leadership core is setting the example all throughout California. So one of the things I want you guys to do is set December 4th aside, put that date aside. Because what's going to happen on December 4th is they're kicking off all across the country the New Poor People's Campaign. And you guys know Willie Baptist, and you know some of the others who came out for some of the schools, and Willie was down there when we had the celebration, first year anniversary of the Homeless Union there. And he's part of this movement, and in 25 different states, they're going to have events and press conferences and protests at state capitals in 25 cities. Because we're heading into the 50th anniversary of the Poor People's Campaign that Dr. King initiated in 1967, 1968. So that's a Monday. That's Monday, December 4th. And I'm in touch with the Marysville Homeless Union, the Sacramento Homeless, and not just homeless, because we don't want to just take the homeless. You know, like Rita was saying a moment ago, it isn't just about homeless. They want to separate people. We want to unite people who are poor. That's the definition. And there's 38 million poor people in the United States, at least. That's the official poverty line. It's probably twice that. Okay? So let's talk in the next, we have a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks to get this together. Let's see about getting some transportation, some vans maybe for some of the churches. See about getting a caravan that can get into Sacramento. The time hasn't been designated yet, but we'll do it in such a way as we can get as many people down there. And we're going to have a press conference. And you guys need to be speaking. We need Irene, you to speak. We need Rita, you to speak. Wes White. Okay? We need the leadership. And we're gonna show that poor people can organize themselves. And those of us who are part of that movement, whether we're professionals or whether we're union people or whether we're attorneys or whatever, we understand that this has to be a unified movement. Okay, the days of, like you said, like Rita said, homeless, not helpless. So we made a break. We made a complete break with people like Jill Allen and these other people who for years have passed themselves off as being the official spokesperson for homeless people. They don't speak for us, and we know that. They proved that in the battle for Chinatown. We saw what side they were on in the battle for Chinatown, right?
Yes.
We saw that.
Yes.
And now that day was a very important day because a dividing line was set up. The dividing line was set up and new leaders came up, and you guys are those new leaders. So I know it can get very difficult and it can get depressing. I understand that 100%. But we got to turn all that into strength. We got to turn all that into organizing. I'm going to turn you guys loose. Irene, you and Rita, if you hit the road up and down California, speaking to these camps, and where people are setting up little shelters and shacks under freeway overpasses and railroad track, this is all over the state of California. They can't stop it, and they know they can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we get you guys out on the road talking and organizing and bringing people in. We're going to build a real movement in this state and across this country, and it's going to be led by poor people. And so I'm in touch with lawyers who have this perspective. I'm done working with these lawyers. All they want to do is, work with the city on some Mickey Mouse, give some money to the shelter system. That's not going to help us. We need housing. We know that's the demand, is housing. And if you're not going to provide housing, then at least let these tents tent cities be constructed and leave them alone. Okay, leave them alone. Don't make people walk around all day like pack animals with their possessions on their back because they can't stay in the tent, they can't stay in a shelter of their own on the street during the day. They can't provide housing, they don't interfere with us when we construct our own housing, our own cities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, rather than go through this point by point, because it would take a long time to do that, I'm going to go ahead and write something up, because this is a long ordinance, and I want to point out every single part of it that is problematic, and also point out those things where they kind of blew it, and they created an opening for us. Okay, because there's a couple of places that are a little sloppy with this ordinance, and I see a few places in there where we can take advantage of some things and say, hey, wait a minute, it says right here, and you're telling us we can't do this? I see some openings too, and we're going to take advantage of those too. Okay, so I don't want to take all that time now because it's the kind of thing where I need to come down there and sit around a table and have some documents for you guys to look at, because this thing, we need to fight in an organized way. We need to be serious about this. So keep on doing what you're doing. Set December 4th, that's a Monday, put that aside, and we'll meet. I'm going to try to clear my schedule so I have a day where I can come down and spend that day organizing these things and then making my full report about this ordinance, because I think we need to take our own position on this. We need to let the city know, we need to let the attorneys know, we need to let Chris Callahan know, let them all know how we feel about this, because this is not a solution. It's full of language. Well, we want to balance the needs of the homeless with the need for keeping public spaces open to everybody. They don't want to balance anything. That's balancing is not. They only put that language in there so that if they do get challenged in court, they can point to that language and say, oh, no, we're not trying to criminalize anybody. We're trying to strike a balance. That is no balance. That's a sledgehammer. That's what this ordinance is. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to go through it, but we'll go through it. We'll set up a time when I can make a full-blown presentation to all you guys about it, and we can have a full-blown discussion of what our official position is going to be. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna have to let you guys go. But keep on doing what you're doing. I'll be in touch with you guys about coordinating these things. But like I said, mark your calendar and let's start getting some commitments for people to be part of a caravan to come to Sacramento when they work. Because we're gonna let them know Salinas is in the house. We're gonna let them know Salinas is in the state house on that day. You hear me?
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
All right. Okay, you guys take care. Keep up the work, man.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye bye now.
Did he say where we would meet that day?
We got a long time to wait until the 4th. 4th is another 4 weeks away. So yeah, we can organize a caravan. We were talking about getting a bus or something maybe if we got that many people. But yeah, we should definitely make our presence known. We also need energy for research even here locally for public requests of how many tickets have been done, how many people have been arrested, how many people have been how many people pled out, what were their charges, or what are their fines, what's their probation, how many people are being wrongfully inflicted, and then what kind of restorative justice do we need for that. So with this union, we are starting to coalesce some energy, and this part of this point is to ask for additional energy from you folks as well. I also wanted to let Becky Johnson talk for a minute about what's going on in Lapis Road, because it's not only Salinas like we know, it's out in Marina, it's out in Seaside, Pacific Grove. They pass all these anti-RV stuff. I'm going to steal her thunder, so I better let you talk. But here's Becky Johnson.
Thank you, Wes. And thanks for everybody for coming here and participating in this event. I live in Seaside, California. I'm not homeless. I'm lucky enough to have a warm house to sleep in at night. But I can't escape what's going on in my community and what's going on with how law enforcement and legislation is used against homeless people. If you look at the homeless census 2000 and needs assessment that was just, the results were tabulated and they had the report issued this June. Homelessness has increased since 2015. It's increased 23% in Monterey County, and the majority of that is in the city of Salinas. Other cities around in Monterey have had very steady rates in their homeless population, but not Salinas. Salinas, it's grown considerably. At the same time, the county acknowledges that there is inadequate affordable housing for the people who live here and need it. So they know that you can't just, there's a substantial portion of our population that just cannot go out and rent an apartment or house and move in and cease to be homeless. So they know all of this. So why would they pass all these laws that are so punitive and hurtful to homeless people? What is the point? And it's not permissible for counties and cities to pass ordinance just to get rid of a certain section of the population they don't like. That's not a permissible use of government authority. And so we have lots of grounds to fight. We're in the situation where, well, we're right, but we have no resources and we don't have the people in power on our side. It's been that way for kind of a long time, but it doesn't mean that we can't collectively pool our resources and our efforts and redouble down and like David versus Goliath, we can do some damage and we can affect some change, some positive change, and don't believe for a second that you don't have the ability to do that. I want to talk a little bit about the situation with the Lapis Road Homeowners Association. The city of Seaside, the city of Marina, the city of Monterey, the city of Pacific Grove have all passed ordinances banning recreational vehicles from their streets. I don't understand how they can do that. I haven't studied these laws long enough to dissect what their rationale was. One of the cases in the city of Marina, they said that if there are RVs parked on the city streets, it presents a safety hazard to pedestrians whose vision might be blocked by an RV and they might get hit by a car. I mean, this was actual rationally presented as a reason to. And then we have the situation where sheriffs have been and city police have come across RVs parked in their vicinity, and they directed them to go out to Lapis Road. Lapis Road is literally the road to the county dump, and it's in northern Monterey County in unincorporated area. And there's a little fussing about jurisdiction between the different agencies. Mostly, like California Highway Patrol doesn't really want to police Lapis Road, and the sheriffs don't really like to drive out that far. So, it's been this kind of godforsaken corner of the county. And because of all these ordinances, all these RVs started moving out on Lapis Road. Then they said, oh, this is a problem we have to deal with. There are too many RVs on Lapis Road. We have to do something. So then you bring the sheriff in, and the irony is that the county actually decided that they have some responsibility for these people, and they passed an ordinance just to do with Lapis Road, and they said that the people, if they sign up with the county and ask for services, that they can stay, but not between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. every day. All the RVs have to move off of Lapis Road, drive around in all these cities that have banned them, Park in parking lots where merchants don't want them parking because they want that for their customers, and that's reasonable. And great expense. Driving an RV around, you get about 7 miles a gallon. So one wonders what the carbon footprint is for that. But the people on Lapis Road most of them didn't know each other, they kind of have gone around and met each other and gotten together, and they formed a little group called the Lapis Road Homeowners Association. I love that name. It pisses off all the right people. Those smug people, I'm a property owner, I'm part of a homeowners association, I'm all legal, I'm all special. How dare you use the nomenclature homeowners association? But the people on Lapis Road said, hey, we own our homes. These are our homes on wheels. We live here, this is our home, and if we want to associate with each other, we can form a homeowners association. And so they've done that. They've held 5 organizational meetings. They've elected representatives to speak on their behalf, and they also passed a resolution that they're petitioning the Board of Supervisors to remove that 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Move out every day for God knows why. I should say that the Salinas Monterey County Homeless Union was on top of this whole effort the whole time. When they had an organizational meeting with it, we were locked out of that meeting. And behind closed doors, they came up with this provision with no logical reason why it's in place. And there's been tremendous attrition. The people who used to be at Lapis Road, a lot of them have gone, we're not sure where. But they're certainly not coming back to Lapis Road every day, despite the presence of porta potties and dumpsters that have been out there. Thank you, County Board of Supervisors. So I have a petition here that I would appreciate if you'd sign. It's to the Board of Supervisors asking for this removal of this provision. Their situation is pretty dire anyway, because they're going to make Lapis Road so no one can park there ever after, I think it's November 30th. And the sheriffs are hinting that they're going to go around to other roads around there and make those no parking as well. This is the county trying to solve homelessness by fiat. A stroke of a pen, ink on an ordinance that suddenly makes innocent activity a crime. And that's what we're up against. We say that the homeless who are living in their RVs are the easiest homeless people to house. All they need is a parking lot that they can stay in legally. They're pretty resourceful themselves. They don't really want county help. They just want to be left alone. Sound familiar? All right, thank you so much for your attention and your efforts and your courage in the face of just unfeeling, uncaring government being bent in the wrong direction. Government being not to help the citizens, but actually to harm and hurt people. It's got to stop.
That's a fact.
About what happened to you?
All right, my name's Bree. I got stabbed a couple months ago by another homeless girl. We're not safe out here. Most of the people that have mental issues aren't on their medication because they cannot afford it.
Right.
Or they don't have people supervising them so they can stay on their meds.
Right.
I'm bipolar 1 to the extreme, but I'm non-medicated because I choose to be. They didn't find my disorder until I was over 30 years old. I'm used to my racing thoughts. I'm nonviolent. I have my 90% under control without medication. A lot of people are not able to do that on their own. This woman had been having issues for at least 3-4 months that I knew of. I camped next to her, and she started talking to herself in 2 different voices the night before she stabbed me, started accusing me of things that I would never do. 1, she was my friend. 2, I asked the officers to please make sure she got mental health help first before they made her do her sentence, because I'm still her friend no matter what. Yes, Chevy, my cat, it has problems because of Caltrans bulldozing me. They almost got my cat. And she now has separation anxiety. She also is traumatized by a bulldozer where any loud vehicles go by, she starts to shake and cry. She's 6 years old. She's been with me since she was 3 weeks old. She has been homeless all her life. She has her shots. She has her microchip in her, and she is fixed. If you need your pets fixed and you're homeless, call Pet Friends Rescue. They'll help you. If you need a vet, there's a real good one in Monterey. I'm sure one of his patients will volunteer some cash to help you. She had an abscess on her face, and I tried everywhere to get help. And I went off on the SPCA because they told me I needed to relinquish my cat to them before they would help me. And a lady who worked there came out and put me at her vet's office in Monterey.
Oh, wow.
And took care of the bill for me. Chevy's the only reason I still get up every morning. I tell her that every day because she has to be fed. She's human raised. It's natural for them to hunt, but it's not natural for them to eat it. She doesn't like to eat them. She brings them to me. She stays on a leash most of the time because of where we stay on and off. They've chased us all over this county. Bug has lived everywhere from the Alisal car wash to, well, across the street from the Alisal car wash to the swamp behind the school on Davis to everywhere in Salinas you can think of. Right now we're on the back side of the park, outside park area, because they took half my stuff the last time I was here. But we're not safe out here. We need mental health help. We need people, our insurance to cover our medications. Medi-Cal does not like to cover a lot of things. They won't cover lithium, which is one of the only ones that I can take, although it makes me sleep 24/7. I can't stay awake for nothing when I'm on it. I'd rather not be on it. I was on TV last year about the homeless situation where we're being forced off the round ramp off of Laurel and Davis, the southbound ramp. I dared city council then, and I'll do it again. Come out and live with me for a week. I guarantee you'll go home crying. Cold water in a bucket every morning, that's my bath. I haul the water myself. I have COPD, asthma, and borderline emphysema, and many other medical problems, and I live out here every day. I've been out here almost 10 years. Thank God I've been blessed with a trailer. As soon as they're done remodeling it, I'm moving indoors. My credit's shot, but I have good friends. And he's watching me go downhill, and he doesn't like it, so he's going to put me in a mobile home that he got through a will. Right over here in the Ryder Trailer Park. It's better than nowhere.
So with this union, we're trying to get some new energy. We need helpers. We have a lot of effort and drive to go. Your stories are important. You're important. We need more people involved though. That's our one problem. It's really easy to talk, and doing the work is a lot harder. And you see, we got a good 5 people who are really trying to help other people for nothing, other than it's just the right thing to do. And we need more people to catch on with that concept, start paying it forward, because it could be one of your family. You know, what a ripple does just keeps on spreading out, and it's so interesting the way that one good turn does another. And that's what we really need to be starting to get back to. The things that are important in life is life, not money. It's not money. It's never been money. It's a tool, just like anything else, but we've perverted it. So we really need help. Oh, November 18th, is down in Chinatown, where they're going to have a whole block party day. We encourage people to go and make sure that you're signed up for services. The HMIS database program for CARS, which is Coordinated Assessment Referral System for the county. This is your avenue to housing through their model. Even though we know that there's no housing available, we need to get in line. We need to be in line because it's going to take a good 5-10 years. And doing this now, we need to get prepared as we do with every other line, and we know it ain't going anywhere. But once we have that need and we've got 700 people in line that are asking for help, that's what the county and city are scared of the most, is that we will actually demand our rights, demand that we are counted in this process. So, and if we say that we're willing to ask for help and we need help, then they're more obligated to do it. Don't do it for mental illness. Don't do it for drug addiction. Do it because you're a human. Those are the things that need to be funded, is because you're human, not for these special interests. Yes, those are important too, but we actually try to put people into these pigeonhole categories so that we can get paid, but we're not actually treating the person, we're not helping the person, we're actually making them crazy. So there's the 18th, the 4th is another day, and I mean, we need help, really. Rita and I are kind of floating a lot of this boat in Becky. Becky's doing huge in Marina, and we have a couple of homeowners, the RV Homeowners Association out on Lapis Road too, but we need a lot more help. This is overwhelming. There's so much money and attitude, and honestly, it's the character, it's the attitude. If you want to do anything, just say, you know what, they got a right to live, and let's not pick on them. Let's not make them move. And if the city doesn't want to help them and the county doesn't want to help them, at least don't hurt them. Stop making them roll up and go everywhere. We need to establish some firm boundaries of what's okay, what's not. Because seriously, in the end, the city is like, hey, you're here, you're not paying rent, you don't belong here, you're trespassing. Doesn't matter how much, how little, how clean, how dirty. Doesn't matter. Because the whole point is you ain't paying rent. And they're there for that shakedown piece. It just uses up like it's Vegas. Life is not a gamble. We're trying to survive. And this money is killing us. Minimum wage goes up the very same day, January 1st last year. 15, 20 cents, 50 cents, $1 in price. We haven't even gotten our paycheck yet. All the prices are going up. It's a game, and it needs to stop. We need to get at it through principle. We need to get at it through love. You get at it through camaraderie, community, sticking together, banding together, and fighting for your rights. There's a couple of these pages right here. If you want to stay or if you want to go, there's a little bit of instructional there. If you just want to go, just ask if you're free to leave. Am I being detained? Can I just go and go? You don't face a conflict. But if you think you're strong enough, or if you're tired enough, or if you're desperate enough, you stand your ground and you say, am I free to stay? Can you please leave? Because I'm trying to go to bed. I just want to sleep. Just resting, just breathing, ain't doing nothing wrong. I don't have to answer any of your questions. I don't even have to tell you my name unless you're actually going to arrest me and cite me. Then, okay, I'll give you my identity. But do not answer any questions. Make sure that you video as soon as you see the cop roll up. If you have video capability, use video. If you download a voice app, if you can do that, because that'll take a lot less memory on your phone, a lot less energy on your phone either. So a voice at the least, because those body cams are publicly private property, which means that the city owns that property, the city corporate, not the city residents. So you will not be able to see anything that could help you in your case. That's why you need your own version. Get it early. Make sure that witnesses help. Make sure you get everybody's name. We've got to actually, if you stay anonymous, you're going to be anonymous and you're going to get run over. You need to stand up and be counted. And that's going to include being a witness, signing up for stuff, and, sticking up for your brothers and sisters outside. We need to do this. If we don't, they're already smothering everybody as it is. You see people dying on the street every day, once a week, once a month, twice a year. That's happening, especially in Christmas time last year. 4 people It's just too much, and it's hypothermia, it's neglect, it's medical. You know, you need a safe, what do you call it, sterile place to be. It's not happening where we're at. So we need to change that, and we can only do that together. So please sign up, take some flyers. My phone number's on it, and a couple other phone numbers. So please help us. We're trying to help you, and we need that give back, reciprocity. Pay it forward. Eventually, forward will pay you.
Is there anybody else that want to give their story? Anybody else want to say how it is out here? If they feel they're being treated fair? If the police are working with you? If they're not? How do you feel about
the cops don't. They don't work with you. They say at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Keep saying.
All right, 3 o'clock in the morning, they wake you up and throw you out. That's what I gotta say, and that's wrong.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? You know, where are we gonna go? You want us to rob people?
Huh? Right.
I'm trying to do that.
Well, I'm trying to, you know, I'm cool with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's all I gotta say.
And you're so right about that. It is so wrong.
Yeah.
And we need evidence to that effect. So that's exactly why I'm saying that we need a voice recording or a video recording, because we need to be able to bring them to court and prove it. Otherwise, it's he said, she said, and that's exactly why they always walk away, because they're in charge of what gets said and what gets written.
And then we get kicked out.
Right? Yeah. So you're getting punished. They're living off of your suffering.
Yeah.
That's how they're making money.
Yeah.
They say they only go to high priority calls, but then how is this a high priority call? High priority call is going to be your robberies, anything with a gun, anything knife, assaults, violent crimes. This is not breathing and laying on the ground is not a violent crime. And everybody needs shelter. You need food, water, and clothing and shelter, right? Food, clothing, and shelter. The 3 basic necessities of life.
And they would make a fire, and then they come through and they're like, oh no, you can't.
Right? Yeah.
Make a fire just to make food for us, just to live. But they come through here and they act like fucking assholes.
Yes.
That's all I say.
Okay, so for all of us at the union, if nobody else, so I guess we'll wrap it up. But thank you. Thanks for calling us, Rita, and thanks for coming out and supporting us, and hopefully we'll do more detail soon on the ordinance. And please come to the 18th down in Chinatown and the 4th. So sign up and we'll be able to keep in contact with you guys.
I also wanted to say, when you see Wes come through here and we come through, we're not trying to be nosy or nothing. We're just trying to get the story from everybody, what's really going on, because a lot of the community out here doesn't know what the police are doing with us. They don't know that the people come and they run us out of here. We're saying, we clean up the block, we run the people out, or we do our sweeps, we clean, and they keep coming back. But they fail to let the community know, yes, they do the sweeps, and they let us come back. Chinatown, if you go over there, you'll see tents up all day long. Why? Because they need to keep them there, keep enabling the people so they keep getting their money. People that are come out here, it's because we want them to see we're not all what they say we are. We're not all prostitutes. We're not all drug addicts. We're not all drug dealers. We're not. We're human beings that don't have homes, and we want to live. We want to live, and even more so, we need to exist now because they want us just to disappear like if we're nothing, and just to. We're not going no place because we live in Salinas. We might be homeless, but we're residents here. It says that for the people, we are the people. They need to remember that we are human beings, and nobody's better than anybody else. Everybody has skeletons in their closet. We just ain't got money to keep it that way. We just keep living. If you look around here, you'll see this park is clean, and there's homeless people here. So we're not all what they say we are. We don't like to live in trash. We don't come out here just to do drugs and everything. Yes, there's a school here, but we were here first. They don't fix the problem, they build around us. So if they helped us, we can help ourselves get a place, but that's not what they want. They need us to be out here, so the nonprofits, and I'm not saying all nonprofits are bad, but the ones that keep on getting the grants for the people, for the ones that keep on starting programs and not finishing it, as long as they get that grant and then they say they need it for something else, they should give somebody else the chance that really wants change and that's really feeling the people, that know the people, know their names, who they are, where they come from, what brought them here, what started their journey through homelessness. Because everybody has a story. Just like me, I didn't say when I grew up I wanted to be homeless, but it happened. My kids are not happy with what I do, but I tell them, everybody needs a voice, everybody needs to be heard, and that's what I do. I don't try to sugarcoat anything. I myself sleep out here at the park. I started in 2012. I've had a job and everything too with a nonprofit, which I quit because I wanted to be able to look at myself in the mirror. And people need to be treated treat people the way you would like to be treated. And that's all we ask. And have respect for us. We have respect for you, even though, you look down at us. And they say you don't look down at somebody unless you're going to help them up. And that's all we're asking. We're not telling you to let us sleep in your backyard or anything. We're just saying that the community needs to get together and realize these are people from our community that need help. Help us so we can get back on our feet instead of putting us down and saying this is what we like. Nobody likes this. Nobody likes living like this. It's cold out here in the nighttime. I'm a grandma. I can't have my grandkids out here, so I have a lot that I don't get to do or be part of with a lot of things with my family, but I'm still here because we're worth it. Every single one of us out here is worth it. And the people need to realize that too. We're human beings and we're dying out here. Every person that you see in the newspaper that you hear that's passed away, we knew them, personally knew them. They slept next to us and their families, just, we don't want to be burdened on our families, so we're just trying to get by on our own. But if the community would help us, if the city of Salinas would help us, we can get a lot further and there wouldn't be so many people out here on the streets. So I just want to say thank you for everybody that came. And remember, it's now or never. We need to work together. And only working together can we make that change in our community, in the homeless community, and get back on our feet to our lives that are waiting for us. Everybody wants to live. So do we. We don't have money, but we still deserve a chance to live. And that's all we're doing. We might do recycling. We don't have jobs, but it's hard work being a recycler. They want to come and take that away from us. Can't do it. We need to live. We need to eat. And we're taxpayers because we buy stuff from the store. So just be a little bit more friendly. Don't be scared to talk. Everyone wants to hear your story because a lot of people don't know. They see us, but they don't know who we are. And we all have a story, so that's all I want to say. Thank you, Wes. Thank you so much for coming out here. Irene, Dreads, maybe next time we'll get a little bit more. But we're happy with who came out with right now, and we just want to say thank you.
Okay, and then one more tip at the end here is the ask any homeowner if you're that desperate. Part of this ordinance does say that 6 people can be on a property to camp overnight, so with owner permission. So please try to find a homeowner and coalesce, man. It is going to take a community, and the house people need to be involved in this process too. So please do so. You can also use it as your business property as well. So let's do that. We need to do this as a community, house and unhoused. Let's get it going.